Assessment of selected controls and security assessment. This refers to the process of evaluating the effectiveness and adequacy of specific controls and security measures implemented within an organization's information technology (IT) environment. It involves identifying and selecting controls to be assessed based on their criticality and potential risks. The assessment includes analyzing the control's design, implementation, and operational effectiveness to determine if they adequately mitigate risks and comply with relevant standards, regulations, and best practices. The introduction sets the context for the topic of assessment in IT audits. It provides an overview of the purpose, scope, and objectives of the assessment phase. It may include a brief explanation of why assessments are crucial for evaluating the security and control posture of an organization's IT systems and infrastructure. The introduction aims to provide a high-level understanding of what will be covered in the subsequent sections of the document. The assessment phase is a key component of IT audits, where the actual evaluation of controls and security measures takes place. It involves gathering evidence, conducting tests, and reviewing documentation to assess the effectiveness of controls and security practices. The assessment phase typically follows the planning phase and precedes the reporting phase. It requires a systematic and structured approach to identify weaknesses, vulnerabilities, and areas of non-compliance within the IT environment. The assessment phase generates several deliverables that contribute to the overall IT audit process. These deliverables may include assessment reports, control matrices, risk assessment findings, and documentation of identified control deficiencies. The reports summarize the assessment activities, findings, and recommendations for improvement. Control matrices outline the selected controls, their objectives, and the assessment results. Risk assessment findings highlight potential risks and their impact on the organization. Documentation of control deficiencies provides a detailed account of identified weaknesses and areas requiring remediation. In the assessment phase, auditors may require additional resources to support their evaluation. These resources can include specialized tools and software for vulnerability scanning, penetration testing, and log analysis. They may also rely on external sources such as industry frameworks, regulatory guidelines, and best practice frameworks to benchmark controls and security measures. Training and expertise in relevant areas of IT security and controls are essential resources for conducting thorough and effective assessments. The summary of the assessment phase provides a concise overview of the activities, findings, and outcomes of the assessment process. It highlights the key strengths and weaknesses identified during the evaluation of controls and security measures. The summary may also outline any remediation actions recommended to address the identified deficiencies. This section serves as a quick reference for stakeholders, enabling them to grasp the main points of the assessment without going into extensive detail. The conclusion wraps up the assessment phase and summarizes its significance in the broader context of IT audits. It may reiterate the objectives of the assessment phase and emphasize the importance of conducting thorough assessments to ensure the integrity, confidentiality, and availability of IT systems and data. The conclusion may also provide an overview of the next steps in the audit process, such as the reporting phase, and highlight any ongoing monitoring or follow-up activities that may be required based on the assessment findings.